Today we're going to talk about the 4 sections or quadrants that form the city of Albuquerque. These quadrants are referred to as the Northeast, the Northwest, the Southeast, and the Southwest. Today my goal is to help you all better understand these 4 parts of town and what each one is known for. We'll get into the nitty-gritty of it, talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of each quadrant so that you guys better understand the micro markets that make up the greater picture that is Albuquerque's real estate market. Hey everyone, this is Life in ABQ, where we explore what it's like living in Albuquerque, New Mexico and the surrounding areas. Welcome to Life in ABQ. Hey, it's Steven with More Realty, and I post videos like this every week, so if it's your first time to my channel and you want to learn everything there is to know about the different neighborhoods in and around Albuquerque or some of the other towns and cities nearby, then subscribe to be notified every time I post a new video. Now, my team has been helping people from all over buy and sell homes here in the Albuquerque area for years now, so please do not hesitate to give me a call or shoot me a text so we can talk about how I can help you meet your real estate needs. So let's dive right into it. Each area of Albuquerque has its own unique vibe. We Burqueños look at Albuquerque as if it's broken up into 4 quadrants. These quadrants are officially defined by what side of Central Avenue you're on, which runs east to west, as well as what side of the train track running north to south you're on. So, if you're north of Central and east of the tracks, your address will have an NE after it, and so on and so forth. Unofficially, and for our purposes today, you can also use the intersecting highways, I-40, which runs east to west, and I-25 running north to south to define what quadrant you're in. We have the Northeast, which touches the Sandia Mountains, the Northwest, which is due south of Rio Rancho and Corrales and includes the Rio Grande Valley. In the Southeast, you'll find the University of New Mexico, as well as Kirtland Air Force Base. And finally, the Southwest includes downtown Albuquerque, Old Town Albuquerque, and the South Valley. The Northeast, or better known as the Northeast Heights, is closest to the Sandia Mountains. Here we have some pretty spectacular close-up mountain views, as well as some awesome westward-looking views of the volcanoes. Many neighborhoods in the Northeast Heights are walking distance from some really great hiking trails. This area has large mature trees and loads of greenery, as well as some pretty incredible parks and gardens and some really well-maintained medians and public spaces. Now, I grew up in this part of town and I have spent the majority of my life living in this quadrant of Albuquerque, so this is the one I am the most familiar with. I know everything there is to know about living in the Northeast Heights. But I also know what it's like living in the other parts of town too, because I have either lived, worked, or gone to school in each of the 4 quadrants of Albuquerque. The Northeast Heights was very well planned in my opinion. Looking at it on a map, you can see that it's basically a grid, making it very easy to get around. There are loads of shopping centers, restaurants, and golf courses here in the Northeast Heights. We have the Coronado Mall, which is continually growing and expanding, as well as ABQ Uptown right around the corner, which is a nice outdoor shopping mall with stores like the Apple Store, Lululemon, and the North Face, to name a few. There's plenty of nightlife in the Northeast Heights too. There's Vintage 423 with a rooftop nightclub, which may remind you of Scottsdale, as well as Revel, which is a small concert venue, and a country bar too, called the Dirty Bourbon. There's hardly ever any serious traffic in the Northeast Heights because of the numerous options for travel routes when it comes to getting around. The main drawback to living in this part of Albuquerque is that here you can expect home prices to be the most expensive and property taxes to be higher than most other parts of town. In my opinion, some of the best neighborhoods in this part of town include Tanawan, Primrose, High Desert, Pepper Tree, and Glenwood Hills. Next up, we have the Northwest, which can further be broken into 2 subregions, the North Valley and the West Mesa. The North Valley is definitely the greenest part of Albuquerque because it runs along the Rio Grande River, and because of this, it contains the oldest and tallest trees in town. Here you will find older homes very often on enormous lots. The North Valley too has pockets that belong to county jurisdiction rather than city, and some of these pockets people are allowed to have animals and livestock living on their property, which gives the North Valley some agricultural vibe and charm. Not only in the North Valley, but in the South Valley too, which we'll talk about very soon, there are less building codes and restrictions, so over time this has led to less uniformity among the homes here in terms of design, style, and size, and therefore more diversity. Now the West Mesa is a little further from the river, sort of up on a flat hill, which we call a mesa, meaning table in Spanish. This area is very desert-like, but provides amazing sunset and nighttime views of the city against the mountains. Here you'll find a lot of newer construction and some really great hiking trails by the Petroglyphs National Monument. Like the Northeast Heights, the Northwest has shopping, golf courses, and entertainment centers galore. Here you will find the Cottonwood Mall, which has just about everything the Coronado Mall in the Northeast has, as well as loads of other shops and restaurants surrounding it. In Northwest Albuquerque, there's lots of sports bars, breweries, and nightlife at places like the Salt Yard and Rio Grande Social. Unfortunately, this quadrant is notorious for having some of the worst traffic around town. Coors Boulevard is the main road that people use to travel up and down this side of town, and it can take an extra 20 to 30 minutes to get where you want to go during rush hour traffic, especially if there's a bad accident. My favorite neighborhoods in this part of town are the North Valley, Los Ranchos de Albuquerque, Oxbow, and Ventana Ranch. Next up, we have the Southeast. This is going to be the most commercial out of the 4 quadrants within Albuquerque. Here we'll find the University of New Mexico, as well as the Nob Hill Shopping and Entertainment District, located along Central Avenue, which is a stretch of the world-famous Route 66. There's a lot of really unique homes here in the Nob Hill area that have a lot of character, and being so close to the university gives this area a very welcoming, academic, and kind of artistic, hippie vibe to it, which I find very charming. The Kirtland Air Force Base is also located in the southeast quadrant of Albuquerque, and here you'll find a lot of newer construction surrounding the area, lots of homes that are built for young families and for military service members, and a lot of the businesses around are, marketed to fit the needs of that kind of clientele as well. Far east of the southeast quadrant, the homes touch the Sandia Mountains, similar to how they do in the Northeast Heights, and so a lot of the neighborhoods are going to be a little bit like that. They're going to have some desert feel to it and some really great westward looking views of the volcanoes and the rest of the city at nighttime. In the southeast, you'll also find a lot of the largest entertainment and concert venues in the entire state of New Mexico. The Isleta Amphitheater, for instance, hosts a lot of big name artists throughout the year. I myself have seen Luke Bryan, Wiz Khalifa, Maroon 5, and Imagine Dragons, all at the Isleta Amphitheater. Here in the southeast is also where you'll find New Mexico's largest sports arenas and stadiums, like the University of New Mexico Football Stadium, the Pit, which is where the men and women basketball teams face off, and finally the Isotopes Park, which is home to the Albuquerque Isotopes minor league baseball team and the New Mexico United soccer team. Southeastern Albuquerque is seeing significant development in the recent years, with new shopping centers, dining options, and entertainment venues. Mesa del Sol is particularly noteworthy for its planned community approach, integrating residential, commercial, and recreational spaces. A lot of investors are buying old homes in southeastern Albuquerque, fixing them, and flipping them for resale. So if you're wanting to live in an older home with character, but with modern upgrades, this is a great place to explore. If you're an investor looking for a home to flip in the Albuquerque area for rent or resale, this is a great part of town to consider. Go ahead and shoot me a text or give me a call to find out how we can find you one of these great deals that are available right now. And if I were buying a home for myself in southeastern Albuquerque, the 3 neighborhoods I'd consider would be Nob Hill, Spruce Park, and Four Hills. Finally, we have the Southwest. Now this quadrant is the oldest and most historic of the 4 because this one includes the original settlement of Albuquerque. The neighborhoods and homes here contain loads of character and history. Old Town was Albuquerque's original town square, and it remains one of our most charming spots that draws in loads of visitors from in and out of town throughout the year. Here there's loads of activities to enjoy, like museums, high-end shopping, restaurants, wineries, tap rooms, and even walking ghost tours too if you want to learn more about the town's history. The Sawmill Market is Albuquerque's favorite open-air market not too far from Old Town, where local vendors sell things like artisanal foods and treats, drinks, and fresh flowers too. Albuquerque's downtown is located in the southwestern quadrant, and of course this is where you'll find the most urban vibes throughout the city. There are 10 and 20 floor office buildings, hospitals, government buildings, and some really nice hotels too. And just outside of downtown, we'll find some really old but well-maintained neighborhoods with some homes dating back to the 1880s. West of downtown, you'll find the ABQ Biopark, which includes a botanical garden, our aquarium, and our world-class zoo. Trails along the Rio Grande River are accessible here from Tingley Beach Park, which can make for a really pleasant afternoon. South of downtown is referred to as the South Valley, which is quite similar to the North Valley in that there are loads of mature trees which provide lots of shade, and that there's an overall agricultural vibe to it. As I mentioned earlier, here too there isn't as much uniformity among the styles of homes because of relaxed building restrictions. What sets the South Valley apart from the rest of Albuquerque is that here there is a lot of Hispanic and Chicano influence in this part of town. The Dia de los Muertos parade happens every fall and is pretty spectacular. To honor their loved ones who have passed away, people get all dressed up in traditional costume and makeup to enjoy the parade, dancing, singing, yummy food, and delicious drinks. West of the valley is more of the West Mesa, which is similar to the Northwest Mesa that we talked about earlier. Here there's loads of new construction and young families living in this part of town. Albuquerque's newest high school, Atrisco Heritage Academy, is located in this part of town, and I must say that place is pretty incredible. Everything is brand new. It's like a mini college campus, which makes this area very desirable for families with young children. In southwestern Albuquerque, my favorite neighborhoods are the Huning Highlands Historic District, Albuquerque Country Club, and Old Town. To wrap up, each quadrant of Albuquerque has its own unique characteristics and charm. Understanding these differences will help you make the most informed decision when buying your next home. And no matter what kind of neighborhood or lifestyle you're looking for, I guarantee you that I can help you find it right here in Albuquerque. So if you're thinking about moving to Albuquerque or to one of the towns nearby, give me a call or shoot me a text right now. Mention you saw this video to set up a free consultation. I would love nothing more than to get to know you and to help you accomplish your real estate goals. If you found this video helpful, then don't forget to like and subscribe to stay current with my future videos, and drop any questions you have in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you real soon.